Good evening, Mom. I explain number one. Operating leverage is concerned with the relationship between the firm's sales revenue and its earnings before interest and taxes, or operating profits. When cost of operations, such as cost of goods sold and operating expenses, are largely fixed, small changes in revenue will lead to much larger changes in EBIT. Financial leverage is concerned with the relationship between the firm's EBIT and its common stock earnings per share. On the income statement, you can see that the deductions taken from EBIT to get to EPS include interest, taxes, and preferred dividends. Taxes are clearly variable, rising and falling with the firm's profits. But interest expense and preferred dividends are usually fixed. When these fixed items are large, that is, when the firm has a lot of financial leverage. Small changes in EBIT produce larger changes in EPS. Total leverage is the combined effect of operating and financial leverage. It is concerned with the relationship between the firm's sales revenue and EPS. Number two, the firm's operating break-even point is the level of sales necessary to cover all operating costs at that point. Earnings before interest and tax equals $0. The first step in finding the operating break-even point is to divide the cost of goods sold and operating expenses into fixed and variable operating. Changing cost and the operating break-even point. A firm's operating break-even point is sensitive to a number of variables. Fixed operating cost, the sale price per unit, and the variable operating cost per unit. Refer to equation 13.3 to see how increases or decreases and these variable affect the break-even point. The sensitivity of the break-even sales volume to an increase in each of these variables is summarized in table 30.3. As might be expected, an increase in cost FC or VC tends to increase the operating break-even point, whereas an increase in the sale price per unit decreases the operating break-even point. Number 3. Operating leverage result from the existing of fixed costs to the firm must pay to operate. Using the structure presented in table 30.2, we can define operating leverage as the use of fixed operating cost to magnify the effects of changes in sales on the firm's earnings before interest and taxes. Measuring the degree of operating leverage is numerical measure of the firm's operating leverage. It can be derived using the following equation. DUL equals percentage change in EBIT, percentage change in sales. Whenever the percentage change in EBIT results from a given percentage change in sales in greater than the percentage change in sales, operating leverage exists. This means that as long as DUL is greater than 1, there is operating leverage. Number 4. Financial leverage result from the presence of fixed financial costs that the firm must pay using the framework in table 13.1. We can define financial leverage as the use of fixed financial cost to magnify the effects of changes in earnings before interest and taxes. 1. On the firm's preferred stocks dividends, these charges must be paid regardless of the amount of EBIT available to pay them. The effect of financial leverage is such that an increase in the firm EBIT results in a more than proportional increase in the firm's earnings per share, whereas a decrease in the firm's EBIT results in a more than proportional decrease in EPS. Measuring the degree of financial leverage, the degree of financial leverage is a numerical measure of the firm's financial leverage. Computing it is much like computing the degree of operating leverage. The following equation presents one approach for obtaining the DFL. DFL equals percentage change in EPS divided by percentage change in EBIT. Whenever the percentage change in EPS resulting from a given percentage change in EBIT is greater than the percentage change in EBIT, financial leverage exists. This means that whenever DFL is greater than 1, there is financial leverage.